in a lot of ways, Brasilia is like Washington, D.C., that a lot of Brazilians want to go to the capital so they can go see the three branches of government, in their big buildings. And they look pretty cool. I mean, the Senate has, the Senate and the Congress, I can't remember which is which, but one of them is a bowl shaped, and it's huge. It's a big round seating kind of, I don't know, it's not an amphitheater, but it's all the way around. And then the other one is a bowl facing down, so it kind of looks like this. And then there's a big government, big executive kind of skyscraper right in the middle of it. And so that's kind of the image of Brasilia, looking down the main avenue there. And so people will go there to see the government things and to see this big airplane. And they had a huge man-made lake called Lake Paranoá that kind of weaves in and out of the city. And there's this beautiful modern-looking bridge that goes over Lake Paranoá that people like to go see. It's called the Ponte JK, and it's named after the president of Brazil at the time. But the architecture, I would say, it was done mainly by a man named Oscar Niemeyer. And you can tell his architecture because it's very smooth, and it's a lot of shaped concrete, and you can tell that it almost has a spaceship feel to it. And he actually designed the UN building in New York City. And I remember I went to the UN one time for my wife had to be there for something, an event, and I went with her, and I thought, wow, this looks just like Brasilia. This very curvy, big concrete architecture. It felt like I was inside of a big spaceship. And sure enough, I looked it up on my phone, and it was Oscar Niemeyer, the architect of Brasilia, that had done it as well. And there's a big modern Catholic cathedral. And when I say modern, I mean that the architecture style is modern. Really, it was all built back in the 50s, and when the city was built. And you can kind of see that in Brasilia, that everything was kind of built in the 50s. And they've started to change kind of the architecture, the structure with it a little bit, but you can kind of tell it's all made in the same decade. And one of the big things in Brasilia is that the architects didn't want there to be any street lights, no traffic lights. So everything is very circular, and to turn around to go left, you kind of do a big loop and you go left, And since then, they've taken out some of the loops and put in a couple of traffic lights because the gas mileage wasn't great, having to loop around every time you wanted to switch directions. But that was the initial intention.